Then again, if you have estrogen, all hope is lost. In this cosmos, this is where the drawing board comes into play. Because in this, especially this, I actually wanted to, I was thinking about showing, because I'm gonna actually start to, be back on cam. But yeah, this particular discussion right here, that isn't warranted that, because like I've, proposed and talked about many times before, so over. Just like the title says, wrestling does we don't need wrestling does not need Jay White, nor does it want it, nor does it it desperately does not need another Jay White. Why? It's because you already know why. If you already don't know the term by now, especially in this realm, we don't need more midgets. We don't need more midgets that's obsessed with injuring themselves. Definitely don't need more of the same shit that we've been getting for the last decade. Hey, take a look at what happened to Adam Page. Take a look at what happened to Kevin Owens at the Royal Rumble when he did that hilarious botch. Yeah, we don't need that shit. Let's get in, because this caught my attention instantly, because of the fact that he's as you already know, because he's from New Pro Wrestling, wherever the fuck that's called. Just another term so they can stand out. But it's basically Japanese wrestling is what it is, and which is why it's caught my attention, because apparently, apparently he's going to, whether it is WWE or AEW, and I know they worked before with AEW. AEW might be the calling card, but of course it's Tony Khan especially likes his midgets, his puny midgets, because he's also one himself. He's a dwarf, but yeah, nonetheless, let's get into it. Wait, let's see. I don't think I need, but yeah, because he's also, because I just wanted to make a notion, even though he's made that, he's not gonna I actually wanted to show some, yeah, because he said, because before, this is when they had when AEW had the Forbidden Door pay-per-view, and he said, well, he's not gonna expose his intentions because he's a big star, and big stars choose what they do, where they want. All right. I would like to say, if he was the main event, take Roman Reigns. Yeah, take Roman Reigns off the main event, and let's see Mr. White. Let's see how much you can draw in one pay-per-view or one show. Yeah, I want to see that actually. Yeah, and we'll see how much of a big star you are. But yeah, the idea is, because that really that made me giggle back and forth, because I actually caught that, because I know AEW has a partnership with New Japan, and one of the articles I was looking at, because of that, because he left and he was with New Japan, yeah, that's what brought it up. But yeah, it simply is. I mean, that's what's plaguing wrestling today, and people get that word messed up. I know it does says wrestling, but there's a difference between professional wrestling and wrestling. In WWE particularly, why they try, Vince, for example, tried to distance himself from other promotions, which is why WWE was so marketable and global as it is today, is because it had uniqueness, which is why he called them superstars, which is why he got rid of those terms, wrestling and wrestler, because he called them WWE superstars. It's because that's what they are. They're on TV, primetime. They're not a wrestler. In concern, but they're supposed to, because that's in this bracket. If you want to wrestle, go to New Japan, go to AEW. Yeah, there's an alternative too, AEW. Go to where the little boys play. This is where the sharks. This is where these are where the players play. But sadly, WWE over course of time, especially this last decade, has forgotten what it's actually supposed to be. and that's what Triple H is plaguing because he wants to appeal to these fatties that eat nothing but Cheetos and soda, and they want to see nothing, and they want to see nothing. Not that there's a problem, but they think they don't actually know what they're. They don't have. They're not really reliable. They don't have any type of logic as to why what this market is when it comes to professional wrestling and what WWE, why it was so big, why it's such a name, such a global name. It used to be mainstream when you had actual stars like a Stone Cold and The Rock, which is why Rock is so big today. Why everybody in the world knows who he is, just because he's a star. He's not just a wrestler. He's large. He was larger than life. But yeah, it was. I don't see you, and you might if because actually that's it. This is actually nice, but if you're from Millennials channel, I watch him too because I've heard I saw one of you that was in the comments talking, or he comes Top Dog. I see him every now and once and then, but yeah, that's kind of cool because it's nice to have people in the comments, especially in this realm, my realm, all the realm around us. Like if you're from Millennial, Smart, if you're from Technical Work Rate Productions, because I listen to them and they actually have logic. They have what they opinions and everything like that, but they have logic and they know what draws and what used to draw. So yeah, if you're from those channels, then channels like that, because it's kind of not that I like it, but yeah, it's just it gets very irritating and annoying, when I just see, because I know for whatever reason, but for whatever reason, JD, the JD fanboy faggots, they keep coming to my videos because a lot of people, even though that they shouldn't, they say I shouldn't have a channel, but they keep I could just pull up my algorithm and see that because you can see who's watching your channel. They don't know that, of course, but yeah, so it's nice to have that. Whoever's from whichever, because if you're from Millennial or TWRP and someone like that, because they have logic. But yeah, I'm gonna make this pretty simple. But who is Jay White, and why should we worry about him? See, this is the problem, which people current wrestling or wrestling admirers such as myself. And I said this also, but I have to repeat. Me personally, I never cared for the wrestling. If you're here, you know that, and what I've said. Especially in my growing years, I've always loved and cared about what's always caught my eye. I care about characters. I like stories. That's what I care about. I don't care, especially in this neat wrestling, which is why, my favorites such as Undertaker and Kane, which is why they were so larger than life. Of course, just like a Stone Cold or a Rock or a Triple H, Shawn Michaels, because they had what was reminiscent of them, almost was like it was acting. Like you could tell it's acting, but it's like they can entertain. That's also an easy word. They entertained you. You were entertained by what they did. So, yeah, again, I asked the question, why should AEW or especially WWE? Because, like I said, that's the problem. That's why the WWE is in the hole that it's in. But we'll also get to the ratings part, because I also want to talk about that again. Because people like to say, I do like Sami Zayn, but people like to say, Cody Rhodes is a draw, which he's, not lately. But yeah, it's like, why WWE, AEW doesn't need him. That's the problem with that's why wrestling it's in the hole that it's in, is because we've been plagued, and Triple H has been plaguing WWE. He's been killing WWE because he wants to appeal to the fatnecks. He wants to appeal to that depressing crowd. And I know, it's insults, but like I said, hey, and it's not like of course, because I want to make it sound like I'm coming at, because yeah, like I said, I could care regardless, but I don't want to also make it sound like I'm coming from them personally, because I'm judging off your whether you have a character, what type, what how much of an entertainment factor you can give, because that's what this is all about. That's what WWE tried to be before. If you don't offer that, if you don't have none of those, then why are you here? We don't need you. That's what we're trying to get out of. We're trying to get out of the indie scene. We're trying to get away from that. We don't want more of that, because that's why wrestling has been in the slump that it's in. It's why it has been in a dying breed, a last of the breath. Is because we don't. Y'all know why that. Y'all know why. I mean, it was like kind of a thing, but I look at it as like, why when it comes to that feud, or if you want to look at Shawn Michaels and Undertaker, but think of that term, Triple H, between Triple H and Undertaker, that PG, like when they wasn't still that term, they said the end of an era, between Undertaker and Triple H, and I think it is like, these are the last of a dying breed, stars, actual draws, not just wrestling, if you're a wrestling fan or not, but a lot of people watched, especially, in the Attitude Era, a lot of people watched Undertaker and Triple H growing up. And, pretty much half of those people are gone, but they're why, people keep, if they want to come back, they come back on screen. It's because those, Triple H, even Triple H himself, they're draws. They were draws. They drew a lot of people because of the fact of how their characters, and people liked their characters. They were entertaining, and that's what drew people in. People like Jay White, Adam Page, Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, I can name them all. What do they add? What is, besides their wrestling, what do they bring to the table? How are they distinctive? Like, why should I buy their product? Why should I watch them? Why? It's a very simple question. If they don't, because this, like I said, this is it's also wrestling. But if you want wrestling, go to New Japan. This isn't wrestling. This is the entertainment business, and that's what WWE is. Why, as they were as public as they are, which is it's the same reason why WWE has been in the public market. It's because of it. It was global. It's why it has such a name. This is the entertainment business, and if you if you don't like that, then it's very simple to get out. But you have it's not like, because it's not like you have alternatives. This is that business, and this is what we need to get towards. Like I said, it's not like if you can, because I like a little wrestling myself, but that's why I'm where a lot of people, and people seem to forget that also, and they don't even recollect what they actually like. But a lot of people like to be entertained, whether they say it or not. But a lot of people like to be entertained, and that's what they watch TV for. It's because they want to be entertained. They want to come home, they want something to grab their eye, and they want to kick back, and they want to be entertained, no matter how long it is. They just want to be entertained, and that's what WWE was always about. That's why so many kids, so many people loved WWE or loved WCW. They loved wrestling. It's because of the entertainment that they provided. That's what we need to get back to. We don't need more. We don't need another Daniel Bryan. We don't need another Adam Page. We don't need that. We don't need another CM. We don't need another CM Punk. We don't need those. We desperately don't want them. We can't. Wrestling can't take another hit. That's what we don't need that, because that's what's killing. So it's pretty simple. Of today, straightforward. Wrestling doesn't need especially WWE. I could care less about AEW until it gets reran by somebody else. But we'll get to that very shortly. But it's very simple. We don't need Jay Wyatt. Wrestling doesn't need Jay Wyatt, because but not like he's gonna go whichever he goes. I'm just going off of Not necessarily speaking, but personally for myself. But yeah, basically. But which why I'm saying. But yeah, we don't need Jay Watt. Wrestling doesn't need Jay Watt. He's another Adam Cole. He's another Johnny Gargano. He doesn't add nothing but wrestling, and this is why they get injured. We don't want that. It's a waste of time.